No. Ugh.
Oh,
Move. Get away. Go to bed. What's up? What's up? Waiting for everybody to get in here. That way we can start answering some of these questions.
questions from who?
From the people. The people. You see this? See that right there? Those are people that are jumping onto the live. So everybody be asking questions and stuff in the comments, and I can't respond to all the comments. So I'm doing a Q&A. Doing a live Q&A. That way I can try to answer as many questions as possible. So yeah. But yeah, like I was telling y'all, I got Granny here. She's been here for the last couple of days, just, at the house chilling with me. Yeah, so I just got done with my Muay Thai training. Fucking tired, sweaty. Granny probably smelling my armpits. Smelling my armpits. Ah. Hey, get away, dog. Go away. But yeah, figured I'd jump on here, get some questions and stuff answered for y'all. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get some questions. If y'all got questions for me, ask some things away. If you got questions. If you got questions for Granny, go ahead and ask away. Honda build. I am not building a Honda. How old is Granny? How old are you, Granny? 70 what?
77.
77. Let's see. What else? Somebody said, hey, Granny. God damn it. You see, they moving hella fast. Do you go to church? I used to go to church. I don't really go to church as much. Haven't found a church out here, especially with COVID and stuff. I used to go to church a lot with Granny. Granny be Zoom churching. So Granny still be going to Zoom church. When you going back to church?
When the pastor say we can come back.
You hungry? Why your stomach growling?
No, I ain't hungry.
Stomach over here. I hear it.
No, I'm not hungry.
You got a fart?
No, I do not.
You got a poop?
No, I do not.
All right, let's see. God, it's hard to read the comments. They're going so fast. How much horsepower is in your 350Z? My 350Z makes 493 horsepower to the floor. Favorite build? I don't have a favorite build. They all just do different things. I like all of them for different reasons. What up, G-Funk? What's up? Pitbull, yeah, Nos over there. How long have you been growing your dreads? Hey, get out the way, cat. Move. I've been growing my dreads probably about, I want to say 5 years. Yeah, 5, almost 6 years or so. But this is like my third set of or how many sets of dreads have I had?
I don't know.
I think it's like my third set. I had some that were probably a little bit shorter than this, and then I ended up chopping them off. I grew them back and then chopped them off again, and then this is my third set. So I don't plan on cutting these. This is probably like my longest set of dreads, or locks, I should say. But yeah, about 5, 6 years. Tell Granny I said I love her. Somebody said they love you.
Love y'all too. All my chillins.
All her chillins. She be saying all y'all her grandchildren now. She everybody Granny at this point. What else? Somebody said you want to go drifting with me. You gonna get in the car?
No.
Why? Why not?
I'm gonna sit on the sideline.
You don't want to get in the car with me?
No.
One time.
No.
For the culture. Just one.
No.
One lap.
No.
Please?
No.
It'll be the moment for a forever moment.
You got enough for forever moment.
But you ain't never been in the car drifting with me.
And I ain't gonna plan on getting in there drifting with you.
We can go to the track. You can do it with me at the track.
Take your Danny and your nephew.
I want to take my Granny.
No.
Granny don't want to go. Intro song. The intro song is not out yet. That song, I don't know when it's gonna be released. So if you guys remember my, I think it was my 11th, 12th year anniversary video, whatever video it was, where I had proposed to my girl. The video where y'all actually heard me rapping. My partner Tree Thomas is the one who was singing on the hook. Tree Thomas is also the one that's singing on the hook of my intro song. But that song is by Damian Lillard, and that song has not been released yet. You know, he's in the NBA, so ain't no telling when that song's actually gonna come out. But you know, I have free range to use that that song for my intro. So y'all basically getting a sneak peek of a song that ain't even out yet by somebody that's hella famous. When's the next video? I might drop a video on the SC tomorrow. I need an SC update. We're working on that thing another day. So SC update is gonna be on the next video, and like getting the 4-inch downpipe and all that stuff done. What happened to your mom? Nothing. I just don't fuck with my mom. Y'all see, long story short, I left the hospital with my grandmother. So my grandmother to me is my mom. I will forever respect my mom as her daughter, but you know, when it starts crossing the line, I'm always gonna pick my grandmother over my mom. So, you know, they just wasn't doing what they needed to do. So it is what it is. Drag car, I haven't built the drag car yet. Everything I do is more so street cars that, you know, I do plan on sliding. So every last one of my cars you've seen, I jumped in the vet, that thing slides. 300CX, we're still working on that. The 350Z will slide. You guys seen that the SE has freaking all the battle version stuff. So the SE is 100% ready to slide. So I more so build cars that I can drive wherever I want, street cars, but they perform like race cars. That's my whole thing about building. So you guys know that I can, you know, put like a radio or something on the SE and get that thing to, if it launches good, then that car will easily be a 9-second car without a problem. Like it already has 9-second trap speeds. The old setup, that car trapped 140. So, you know, with the new setup, that car will probably trap at least in the 150 range. So it's definitely 9-second capable, but I just don't care to be on, you know, 15-inch wheels, and I don't like that whole look. So that's why you guys haven't seen me really build a drag car, other than the SE being a car that's hella fast on, you know, street tires. I'm more so into cars that look good and perform. Like when I took my SE to the track, I took it out there in full street trim. When I took the 350Z to the drag strip, I took it on full street trim. So I like to see what my cars will do as they sit, as you guys see them all the time. I don't care to, you know, chase numbers by changing the whole setup around, because that's not how I drive around on the street. So somebody said, Granny, what's your dream car?
A Chrysler Town and Country.
So the car you basically got,
That's right.
your little minivan.
Yes, right.
Why you slouched down? It look like you ain't got no neck. Show your neck. Show your neck.
You got there.
You do got a neck. You got a neck. Granny all slouched down like she ain't got no neck out here. You got a neck. Let's see. Damn, it's hard. It's so hard to read the comments. They keep going hella fast. Why don't you sell your car? I'm not selling no cars. I don't build cars to get rid of them. Anytime I'm building a car, it's gonna be a car that I plan on keeping or a car that I like. Only car that I've so far got rid of was the G35, and I didn't build that car for me. My girl wasn't using it, so that car had to go, and I replaced that thing with a Vet, something I liked. So, how'd you find your shop? We got the shop through Aaron's girlfriend. Aaron's girlfriend worked for the owner that owns that building and stuff, so that's how we came about that shop space. They ended up closing up the auto body shop that was there, and we ended up renting a spot from them. Thoughts on first gen? I think that was GS 300s. If it's the first gen GS, I think the GSs are dope. Or was it an IS 300? I like ISs too. I like anything you can basically drop a 2J or a 1J right into. So IS, SC, those you know, those are cars that I wouldn't mind having. How'd you start your YouTube channel properly? So everybody always asking like any advice on how to do YouTube. What did you do to get your YouTube started? Honestly, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. There is no right or wrong way to really do YouTube. Everybody thinks there's some secret trick behind getting your YouTube started when it's really not. The key to doing YouTube is just starting. You start and you just be consistent. A lot of people think, oh, I got a dope car, so I'm gonna start a YouTube and just blow up. It's not as easy as people think. And a lot of people, when they start, they'll do it for a couple months, and then they don't see the outcome that they were expecting, and then they just give up. So my thing with YouTube is just be consistent. You guys know that when I started doing YouTube, it wasn't about, oh, I'm doing YouTube because I wanted to get paid. It was literally just online documentary of my builds for me, and moments that we're at the track, driving with my partners and stuff. So I didn't start YouTube based on, oh, I want to do YouTube, I want to get famous, I want to get, I want to try to make a bunch of money. If you guys have been here long enough, you guys see that my YouTube channel operates the exact same way from when I first started. I haven't changed my methods. I don't, I haven't tried to, I'm gonna go crazy with edits and do all this stuff. It's like, nah, it's still the exact same, process that I've been doing. And for me, it's just documenting and getting the vlogs out for, for my personal use and having an online portfolio of the cars that I do. So, granted, I'm lucky enough to where YouTube has been a blessing in disguise to where my hobby is paying for, being able for me to take care of my grandmother and being able to, take care of myself and my family. But it wasn't about money. Granny, how long have I been into cars?
Ever since you got out of high school?
Shit, even before high school. Because remember, I had you buying the Fast and the Furious movies. So, yeah. I started building my first car in high school, but my granny didn't tell you. Remember all those times in your driveway?
Too many.
People be like, why you don't work on your own car? I've burnt myself out on that. So I do stuff here and there, but it's really cheaper for me to send the car to the shop and just have it done. I pick and choose on what I work on. Somebody said, hey, Granny from Sacramento.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Granny, what's your favorite food?
I don't have one.
You gotta have a favorite. Everybody got a favorite food.
Candy yams.
You old school. Candy yams. Granny, how you doing? I'm from Stockton. Somebody said they were from Stockton. Granny, how you doing? I'm from New York.
I'm doing fine. I'm blessed.
Can't go wrong with candy yams. Let's see. What do you think of the 370 Nismo? 370s are cool. I'm just not really a 370 fan. I prefer the 350 over 370. I just feel like the 370 looks more like a female car. So I don't really care for those. And I'm not like a Nismo head. Like I don't really care too much for the badge. LOL. How old were you? God damn it. Comments are moving so fast. I'm trying to, like, as soon as I look at a comment, it's like, whoop. All right, let's see. See this whole, God. Hi. Get an NSX. I don't plan on getting an NSX. If one was to pop up for the right price and it was cheap enough, then I would not have an issue with getting an NSX. I think NSXs look dope as hell, but they are kind of slow. Parts are hella expensive. I think NSX is trying to cross over into that supercar territory, so you get the supercar price tag on parts, but not the supercar, build type of car. So
now say he getting in the video. Huh?
get away, move, go away.
He was getting in the video.
He always getting in a video.
He was making.
Somebody, how the f do you pass smog? All my cars pass smog legally. All my cars have not been illegally modified in the state of California. Therefore, they will pass smog legally and the proper way. How's Granny? Granny's good. How old is your dog? Nos is 2. He just turned 2 in March. His birthday is like right by mine. Nos actually has the same birthday as my my ex. Since we're on live, I can't say what I want to say, but her got the same birthday as my dog. Just the indication that she was a stray. F her. What else? What's Granny's favorite car you own? Granny, out of all my cars, what's the favorite car out of my cars that you like the most?
None of them.
Why?
Because you drive them crazy when I'm in there.
She capping. She big capping. How many you didn't rode in the Corvette? I didn't do nothing crazy. You just anytime we get on the freeway, you be stop it. We hit a bump. You think I did something extra?
You did.
I didn't. You be capping. I didn't do nothing. You be overly exaggerating. Is your SC300 almost done? The SC is very close to being done. Realistically, if they work on it this week, there's no reason why that car shouldn't start up sometime next week. Off-road build. I do not plan on doing off-road build. When you get in the GTR, I'm probably not gonna get a GTR. I'm not really interested in high-end cars like that. I like a car that I can literally modify, get in, and drive. I don't want to build a car, next thing you know, a transmission break. Now I got to spend 10 grand on this, 7 grand on carbon ceramic brakes and all that. Like, I drive my cars too much to have something like that. I'm not gonna have a GTR and just be sitting there just to say I had one. Like, if I was to spend that much money to get a car, I'm probably gonna buy a Viper. I've been loving Viper since, man, like Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit days. How did you get NOS? I ended up getting NOS. Basically, somebody that I knew, they had a friend that really couldn't take care of him, so I ended up taking over and getting NOS. It was probably about, I want to say, 7 months or so when I got him. BMW, I don't plan on getting a BMW. Lowrider, I'm not really into lowriders. Are you getting a tow rig? I'm not getting a tow rig, but I probably will end up buying a truck and trailer soon, just because I plan on tracking the 300ZX and probably maybe that 5.0 that I'm building. I gotta see, but I do plan on getting a truck and trailer. Build a slam truck? Nah, I'm good. I'm not really into trucks. What up, Mike? What's up? C7? I do plan on getting a C7. So, one thing I found out about doing my taxes this year is, like, when it comes to 1099s and all that stuff, because I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out, because I don't have nobody, explaining it, so I'm learning as I go with all this, is the more money you make, the more money you need to spend. So I'm probably, if, everything goes well, I probably am going to buy a C7 at the end of this year and use that thing as a tax write-off, because, man, if I didn't use my granny as a dependent, they were about to all in my butt. Like, I had to use granny as a dependent. I didn't even think about it, but luckily I got all my receipts for everything that I do, and I do take care of my grandmother, so I was able to use her as a dependent, and it kind of helped, but they were trying to kill me on taxes. So for anybody that does do YouTube, and my best suggestion is to spend as much as you can and try to keep receipts for everything, because they will do you in at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year for taxes. Would you get a 6th gen Civic? Probably not. I'm not into front wheel drive cars. How's the FD? The FD is doing great. We're actually getting ready to pull that motor out, and we're gonna be putting that Streetport motor in with the single turbo setup. So I was gonna single turbo this motor, but with how hard rotary parts are getting to find, it's actually cheaper if, well, not, I wouldn't say cheaper, but the smarter move would be to pull that motor out and rebuild it while there's no issues, because rotaries get expensive when, let's say you need a new iron or something like that, or rotor housing. That's when rotary builds get expensive. But if the motor is good, take it apart, new seals, new Apex seals, new coolant seals, and then you good to go. Do whatever port you want. So the FD is getting ready to get the street port set up in. You guys know that we ended up getting all the link stuff from Jimmy Oaks, so all that's gonna be going in. Respect, Bo. Much love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. BRZ. I'm not a fan of the BRZ. I like the way they look aesthetically, but I just feel they should have put the turbo WRX motor in there. I feel like if they would have did that, that car would have been perfect. But to put the NA motor in there for a sports car kind of just defeated the purpose. I feel like, or they should have at least offered it with the turbo option for it. So that's my thing on the BRZs and FRSs. It should have came with the WRX motor. Explain your tattoos. I got way too many tattoos. Way too many tattoos to be going through all my tats. I got my chest is all done. Like, I got way too many tats. Collab. Yeah, I've been knowing him for hella long, man. I've been knowing him since, he was out this way with Upside Down. So a collab with him is always on the table. I'm just waiting for him to come out here, hit me up or whatever, and we could definitely do a collab. I'm not against it because we've been knowing each other for hella long. So it's just a matter of him coming out this way and us doing something. Thoughts on Camaros? F bodies are cool. The LS3 models are cool. The ZL1s, I just personally wouldn't get one. C8, I don't like the C8. I'm not a fan of the rear engine shit. Like, I feel like it just took away from the Corvettes. Like, granted, that's the direction that Corvette has wanted to be going for years. Like, originally the Corvette was supposed to be a mid-engine car. And I mean, a lot of people don't know that, but the design was to have the engine in the back for the Corvettes. But for whatever reason, they end up doing the front stuff, and it worked out all these years. But I know originally the design team wanted to do the rear engine stuff, so it's something that they wanted to do for hella long. It finally got done, and it is what it is. I'm just not a fan of the aesthetics of that car. They look good wide body, but I wouldn't do it. And my thing with the C8s is I feel Corvette's like a dope supercar. Corvette's a dope sports car, but I think they're trying way too hard to cross over into that supercar category. And I feel like it's kind of like you should just stay in your lane. You guys make dope sport cars for affordable pricing, and they're keeping up or faster than most of these supercars, but they're trying way too hard to get into that Ferrari, Lamborghini category where when you look at a Lamborghini or Ferrari or R8 or whatever, if like anybody's ever sat in one of those cars and you see the interior, then you see where where that money and stuff went. Whereas you get into any Corvette and it's like you see all the plastic and stuff like that. So there's a big difference in quality, and I think that's the biggest point. Plus, even if they did all the Alcantara stuff and suede and carbon fiber, I just don't see myself ever in my life being like, oh, this is a supercar Corvette. I think I'm gonna go spend $200,000 on it. The name for the price tag it just won't really do it. So yeah, C5, C6, C7 are my favorite Vettes. The V, I do like the V. The V's are dope. I definitely wouldn't mind having a V for sure. Somebody said Granny sleep. Granny ain't sleep. She over here watching this tablet. That's what Granny over here doing. Thoughts on the Honda S2000? S2Ks are cool. I just don't fit. 350Z color reveal. That thing should be done for LS Fest. That's what we're working on getting that car done for. Hellcat swap? Hell no. Hellcat motor make every single car I own heavy. Supra, I would definitely get a Supra. Y'all know the MK4 is one of my dream cars. So for the price, I just can't justify buying a Supra over a C8 they're like damn near the same price these days. So 400Z, it's a hit or miss. I need to see one in person. I'm just not a big fan of it. I think they just tried to take all the Nissans and just smush it into one car. So if you see the 400Z, it looks like it has S14 tail lights that are shaped like 300ZX lights. Then it has the old school 240Z look. It looks like they just got everything, was just like try to smash it together. But I am happy with the fact that they are bringing back turbo motors. Like the 350Z, the 370Z, they never should have went in A. Like I feel like they should have just kept those platforms turbo. Would you go to Japan? I wouldn't mind going to Japan. I've never been, but I would definitely like to go one day. Thoughts on the RCF? The RCF, I think, looks freaking fantastic. I'm a huge fan of the ISF. I actually wanted to get an ISF for a long time, and then before I bought the C6, I was actually looking at the RCFs because you can get one for, I want to say like 40 grand now. So I definitely thought about getting one, but when you look at the weight to performance, I'm like, yeah, they make decent power, but those things are heavy as hell. So, I opted to get the C6. But I really wouldn't mind having an RCF or even an ISF. I think those cars look freaking fantastic. Build a Z31. I hate the way Z31s look. I just can't do it. I had the option to actually get a turbo Z31 back in the day, My old boss had one for like $300 turbo. I drove it. All the electronics still worked. I was stupid. I should have bought it. It was $300. Knowing what I know now, I could have flipped that car and made some money. But I was just like, ugh, this thing ugly. I didn't even care if it was turbo or not. So I didn't get it. But I'm not a fan of the C31. Q50. My girl's a huge fan of the Q50s. We thought about getting one of those a while ago too. Viper, love Vipers. Vipers for sure. I have like my love for Vipers. I've liked Vipers before I liked Corvettes. That's how long I've liked Vipers. I started liking Corvettes when my grandfather was looking at one. That's when I was like, oh, these things are cool. But other than that, on Need for Speed Most Wanted, it was like the two fastest cars, or even on Gran Turismo 3, your options were either the Viper or the Corvette. It was like, well, I'm going with the Viper every time I played that game. So Evo, I do like Evos. Evos are dope. I feel like that'll be a sick ass 4-door car, but they are finicky. The horror stories with Kix's Kix Evo made me like, I don't know if I want an Evo, bruh. Granny van. How's your van? Your van running? When's the last time you started that thing up?
The other day,
You ain't even been in the other day. You've been here since Friday.
Wednesday, Thursday.
R32s are cool. I think they're just modified S chassis. Better looking S13s. VR4. The VR4 is probably the worst engine you could possibly work on. I feel bad for Paradox when something happens to his VR4. Another motorcycle. I have thought about getting another one. If I do, I'm gonna get like a K5 Gixxer 1000 if I do buy another bike. But my girl's in the medical field, so she's always dealing with hella patients that get in motorcycle crashes that are all up. So I'm like, she don't want me to get one. I don't really necessarily care to have one, especially since, I got cars that are faster than bikes that I've raced on the freeway. So I'm just like, if I got a bike, it would just be kind of just like to really have it. I'm not like a huge bike fan. Do a collab with Eliminate. Whenever they hit me, offers always on the table. So y'all know me, man. I don't really do too much reaching out to collaborate with people. It's like I really like the fact that a lot of the stuff that I do and how I got here is like I didn't have to go collaborate with bigger people to get my name out there. It was like everything happened organically and I did it all, on my own. So for me, I don't necessarily care to collab with people, but I'm not against it, so can't nobody say like, oh, Mike had to collab with this person to do this or whatever. Or you see a perfect example of that is somebody getting big off of being in a team setting, and then when that team splits up or something happens with people in that team, next their fan base is divided and people are picking sides. The same thing with Christian. When the him and the Illuminate people split up, it was just it was a whole ordeal where fans were picking sides and all that. But for me, it couldn't be none of that because I didn't collab with anybody. I wasn't part of a bigger brand or anything like that. It was me doing what I do. So that's the cool part about that. It's like I don't owe nobody nothing, and nobody helped me get here other than the people around me. Where you going?
Nowhere.
You going to poop, huh? That's why your stomach was growling.
No, I'm trying to get my belt from up under my butt.
Granny a black belt. IS250? Hell no. That little motor. SC400 1UZ. If I was to ever get an SC400, it would be to get turboed. I wouldn't mind doing a turbo 1UZ, but seeing as I already got damn near 1,000 horsepower SE in the making, there's really no point for me to really get another one. Built FD motor. I already have a built FD motor. That's going in probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. E46, those are dope.
Yeah, I'm messing with you.
They make good drift cars. S14, I love S14s. My boy Jamar has probably like the sickest S14 out. That RB30 S14 is sick, and it sounds hella good. I'm just not a fan of RBs. I feel like they're super finicky, and bang for buck, I'd much rather have a JZ. Thoughts on the MK5 Supra? I like the MK5. I think the MK5 is a good looking car. Uh, People complain that, oh, it has a BMW motor in it, but the thing that people don't seem to get is, hey, get down, get off, Granny, go. People
I
seem to
don't want him
forget.
to go.
People seem to forget that if you compare the BMW motor to a JZ, if you look at how much better the head flows in the JZ, then theoretically that motor is better than the 2J. If you look at most like 335i's and cars that have, you know, that similar platform, those cars, let's say it made 800 horsepower at 20 psi, whereas it
What's
takes a
that,
JZ 28, 30 psi to make that same horsepower. Why does it do that? Because the BMW head is so much more efficient. So those motors are dope motors. People just have that in their mindset, like, oh, 2JZ is king, 2JZ is this, 2JZ is better. I have a JZ, I love it, but when it comes to making power, you can't knock that motor that's in the MK5. Like, those motors are just dope motors, and the head will outflow a JZ head. There's no comparison, you know. BMW heads usually flow, and a lot of people don't understand that your block is what makes your torque, and your head is what makes your power. The reason why Honda motors make so much power for, you know, for four bangers is because the heads flow fucking fantastic. Your head is what makes your power. Your block is what makes your torque. Just keep that in mind. Chaser, I'd love to have a Chaser. I definitely would. I think Chasers are dope, but I'm just not a super JDM like fanboy to be like, I want a right hand drive car. Like, would you get a Hellcat? Hell no. Hell no. The Hellcat is like the drug dealer mobile. Anytime you see a Hellcat, it's like you look at it, you be like, that nigga a drug dealer, bruh. Like, I feel like the Hellcat is just like the ultimate nigga mobile, bruh. I couldn't do it. I couldn't have a Hellcat. Sorry, just can't do it. GT500, I take a GT500 any day over Hellcat. Manip's car is dope as hell. Like, people be like, it's a Mustang. That GT500 is quick, has dual clutch trends, like it shifts fast. That is a fantastic Ford. That thing is dope as hell. So for the people that are like, it's a Mustang, like, no, it is a GT500 Shelby. I think the only pieces that even say Ford on the GT500 say Ford Racing also. So yeah, other than that, it's like Shelbys and Cobras. Don't say Mustang anywhere on that car. Would you get a GTO? Nah. I wouldn't get a GTO. I feel like if I'm buying something that comes LS based, it needs to be like a G8 or a Corvette, honestly. That's just my thing. CTSV, yes. If I have a kid, I'm getting a CTSV. Building a four-door car. CTSV or G8. Donk build, I wouldn't say I'm against it, but I'm not going out my way to build an old school. How do you feel about Mopar? I really don't think about Mopar too much. If I'm gonna do something, it's either gonna be Ford related or Chevy. Like, I'm a big fan of LSs now. Obviously, before I used to hate them, but after dealing with so many VQs blowing up, I was just like, you know what? Let me try this LS3. And then after getting the LS3, I was like, And then with the C5, I'm like, all right, these are pretty dope. And now that I got the C6, I'm just like, bruh, these LSs just work. So I like Ford bodies. Like, I love the SN95s, the New Edge Mustangs. So Fox body, the New Edge SN95s, those are like probably like my favorite style Mustangs. But the motors just fucking suck. Those motors are garbage. So I'm like, Mustangs with Ford engines is where it's at. Datsun 510, I would love to have a Datsun 510, either Datsun 510 or 240Z. Those are like my old school favorite cars. Like, 240Z is on my list for sure. 240Z with the RB is definitely, before I die, I'm building one of those. So that will come. But that's one of those builds to where that would be it's an expensive build because you have to do so much restoration. Unless I could find one that, you know, they started and just gave up on it to where it already has like a S13 rear end or 300ZX rear end or whatever, then I'd be more in tune to be like, yo, I want that one. That way it eliminates me having to do a bunch of the suspension stuff. But I would love to have a 240Z. My thing is, if I do a 240Z, I want to do a whole 300ZX rear end behind it. So that way it already sticks out. You don't have to run spacers or none of that. Make it wide as possible. It'll be strong as shit. But the 240Z build will be something that would just be mucho expensive. So that's definitely in the future if things just continue to go well. Granny, somebody said LS swap your van. You want to put a Corvette engine in there?
No.
Why? You can tow all your old friends around, all your little church people.
I can-
Start your thing up. You got the little column too.
No.
You sure?
Positive.
Trackhawks are dope. I'd probably take a Trackhawk over a SS Trailblazer for sure, for sure. Trackhawk is if I have 3 kids. What do you want? Go away. Here, you get some love. Now go. No. Hey, get away. Get away.
Come on. Come on.
What else? Shop truck build. We already have a little diesel shop truck that would be, you know, hauling parts around in. You know, y'all don't even see it in the videos. It'd be all the way off to the side. Chevy SS sedan. I like the fact that they have LSs in them, but I feel like they just look too much like Malibus. I prefer the G8 over the SS.
Get off my foot.
G37.
You know, get your
G37s
big
are
butt
cool.
off of me.
MK3, nah, they just I wouldn't say nah. It'd have to be the right MK3. MK3s come with a lot of problems, electrical stuff, but I'm not fully against them. I think modified they look dope. Like you can make them look good, but I actually had the option to buy a 1J MK3 hella long ago from one of my partners, and I was just like, nah, I don't want this car. New outro. Yeah, I plan on once I get my new Z done, I am gonna make a new outro. I'm gonna go to that same spot, and it's basically gonna be a start of my old Till Z sliding, and then I'm gonna fade it into the new Z. I'm gonna hit that exact same turn to do the new outro, but I need to get the suspension done on that thing. Still waiting that field. Hey, go to bed. Go to bed.
I just can't play with my granny.
Nah, I don't like him jumping on people. He know better. You be spoiling him. You be letting him jump on you when he know he ain't supposed to be jumping on people. It's doggy manners. Z is teal. Nah, my old Z was teal. What's your outro song? Outro song is by Young Gully. It's called How Many Times. What's a good car to modify as a beginner? I'd personally say one of the best beginner cars you could probably get would be a 350Z. 350Zs out the box, they handle good. They have decent power. So it is a good starter car. New shop. Well, me and Aaron we're still looking to figure out what we're gonna do. We might get a new shop. We're trying to see what dude wants to do with the lease. But if you guys seen the video with Aaron that I had tagged a couple posts ago, then you know there's some iffiness going on with the owner of that building. So whether we stay or go, I'm not really tripping. But it is one of those situations with the owner. Can I DM you? I mean, you can DM me, but I'm not gonna lie, bro. My DMs be so freaking flooded on IG, especially since my birthday just passed. It was just like any old conversation that I had was like I can't even find it. It's just happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. It was just flooded. But I mean, you can hit me with it. Tattoos, yep, got hella tats. IS300, IS300s are cool. If I got one, I would 1J swap it. How tall are you? I'm 6'2". Granny, what's your first car?
An English Ford.
A who?
An English Ford.
What is that? An English Ford?
Yeah.
English?
A little bitty small car.
English Ford was Granny's first car. Was it fast?
No,
Was it automatic or was it stick?
stick.
Did you swing it?
No.
Should have swung it.
I don't know nothing about all that.
GS 400. I'd get a
Then
GS
I got a
300.
Ford GTO.
You said Ford GTO?
Yeah.
Where's that?
I don't know.
Man, my granny had a clean ass old school truck. What kind of truck was that? Remember that red one you had?
A Chevy,
Yeah, but what kind of Chevy truck was it?
Cheyenne,
It was something. It was like one of them old school classic trucks. Had like a little 350 in it.
1977.
If she would have still had that car, I would have loved to fix that car up. She let my cousin use it, and all of a sudden, it got stolen, supposedly.
You know, it got towed.
Mm-hmm. Thing would have been a classic. You a fan of RPF ones? I love RPF ones. Super light wheels for affordable price. All-wheel drive Honda. I respect all-wheel drive Hondas. I just wouldn't build one. I know they're fast, but that's a lot of money to put in a car that I couldn't do donuts in. Type R. I don't like Hondas. I'm not gonna say I don't like Hondas as in, like not that type of I don't like Hondas, but I just personally wouldn't own one. Like a lot of what I do is evolved around drifting and stuff like that. So to have a car that isn't capable of doing that just doesn't spike my interest. Would you ever do Pro-Am? Not necessarily. I don't really care too much for pro drifting. If I'm going out to drive, I don't care to compete. I just want to go out there, slide, and have fun with the homies. So doing Pro-Am for me just wouldn't be, like, I really wouldn't care to, do it unless I had big backing and sponsorships and stuff behind it. Other than that, I'd rather just go out, drive with the homies, and just have fun. S14 build? Nah, I'm not getting another S chassis no time soon. Thoughts on MR2? MR2s are dope. I think they're definitely quick little cars if you do them right. Since all the weight's on the back, they launch hella good. Y'all ask me about trucks. I'm not building no truck, yo. No Ram, no F-150, none of that. You got boogers?
No,
You got boogers.
do like you did.
What? Oh. Nah, what do you want? Here, you want to be in the video? Look. There we go. We got froze.
Look at Pop.
I know he all in the window. Build a National. National's cool. What else? Let us see Nas. Nas over there running around.
You just put him out the picture.
I know he made the camera and stuff fall. Termy, I'm not buying Terminator. Those things hella expensive. Hella expensive for what you get. SC400 1UZ build? No. No. Granny, are you born in Oakland?
Nope.
Where you born?
Greenville, Mississippi.
Hold on, gotta get Granny in the shot. So, Greenville, Mississippi. Granny from the country.
And then from there, I moved to Vallejo. And from Vallejo to Oakland.
Why GS 300 over 400? Because I'd rather it be a 300. Easier to turbo and just throw Jay-Z in it. There's no aftermarket support really for the 400s. Corsa for the C6? I don't like Corsa. Corsa is just a loud ass straight pipe. I prefer Boiler. Boiler has like a tune sound to it versus a loud ass straight pipe. If you guys know, you see my cars. None of my cars are extremely loud. I'm just not really into straight pipe loud ass cars. Like fine tuned sounds to where it's like, all right, that sounds good. More like unique sounds. What's your first tat? My first tat is on my stomach. Plans for the Stang? I'm just about to Probably end up turboing that thing. Let me move this back. Move! Get away! Nobody moved it so you can come.
Yeah, you did.
All right, what else? What else? Somebody said, Granny, tell them a childhood story about me. Too many.
You got that right.
Too many.
He was born in '89 when they had that earthquake. He was on the floor, then he just started shaking. And then he looked up at me and said, come get me. And we had a store, and the only thing fell off the store was a pack of cookies. And they fell right there by him, and he got them.
Why you never tell me this story?
You never asked.
We're about to have story time today. Mm-hmm.
Who was right there on MacArthur at the store,
I remember the store.
the first one,
Yeah, I remember. Whoa.
at the hotel,
I don't remember that store.
the Mission Hotel.
I don't remember that one. I remember the other one. Somebody said, we love you, Granny.
I love all my children too.
Somebody keeps saying Trackhawk. Trackhawk. Already answered that. Story time series. Story time. Granny, a real one, no cap. We love you, Granny. What happened to the repeating comments? Is hella comment, bruh. If y'all can, aren't these going by hecka fast?
Yes.
They like. It's hard to read all the comments. Granny, somebody said, Granny, some advice for us kids. What do you have advice for the kids? What would you want to tell them?
Obey your parents. Don't be disobedient.
Your own kids don't even follow that.
I know you don't.
I do. I do. I follow it.
Well, you said advice. I give the advice. It's up to them to follow it.
What other advice you got?
Go to church.
Oh God. Here we
That's
go.
what you're right. You need God in your life.
Oh God. Here we go. Y'all done got Granny started. Next question for Granny start preaching. You got Twitter? I do not have Twitter. All I have is Facebook and IG. I don't have no Snapchat, no Twitter, no TikTok.
That's,
What else? RCF answered that already. Did Granny? Fuck.
what?
Oh, somebody said, did you like Dragon Ball Z?
I didn't have a choice.
I've been watching Dragon Ball Z for years. So
I didn't have a choice. I had to buy them and I had to watch them.
yeah, we were watching the Broly movie the other day. I had rented that. I had her up here, bruh. Soon as the Broly movie start, we get to the Saiyans in the capsules and she already falling asleep. I'm like, Granny, I didn't pay $4 for this video for you to fall asleep.
Yeah, you did.
Nah, Heather, wake up,
Yeah, you did.
wake up.
No.
Quad rotor for the FD? Hell no, that's expensive. I'm too poor for that. I don't have 4 or 3 rotor money. Granny favorite snack. Somebody say, what's your favorite snack?
What I can't have.
Yeah, we got Granny on the diet.
Twinkies.
Whoa, we don't fuck with Twinkies, Granny.
Huh?
We don't like Twinkies.
You said mines.
We don't like nothing that has to do with Twinkies.
Why?
Remember that dude that messed up my paint
No.
on the blue car?
What about it?
Remember how it was chipping and stuff?
What about it?
We don't F with him. He ain't cool. So
What he got to do with cookies?
because his name was Twinkie, so we don't nothing to do with Twinkies. Feel me? Hey, get up, go. Nobody calling you. Go away.
Yeah, you did. He thought you was fighting me.
What's your dream vacation?
Staying at home.
My granny is like, she lazy. She don't want to go nowhere. She
I
don't
done
want to
did enough traveling.
boost a mini bike.
Huh?
Nothing. I'm just looking, trying to read comments. Granny getting bold
Bold, huh?
because you talking smack.
I ain't talking no smack.
Dude, y'all should see. Y'all got to see Granny feet. Granny feet used to look like. Now they like hella small now. She got regular size feet. She be trying to run around the house.
I do not run around the house. I just walk.
Hey, you at least you walking. Last time you was trying to put some pep in your step. You was trying to get up out of there.
Out of where?
Last time you was trying to run. I said, look at you trying to run now, huh?
Run where?
Wherever you was going, I don't know where you was going. You was probably trying to sneak into the room to answer one of them calls from one of them old church dudes. I told you, go ahead. Gonna have me at church like this when it open back up. What do you want? Hey, what do you want?
All the one at that church that I don't know as of now that don't have a wife is Deacon Odom. And that's out of the question.
Oh, here, I'm gonna give you some love. Give you some love real quick. All right, now get down. Get down. Hey, get down.
See, everybody wanting to see us and now
Get
they
down.
see him.
Go away. Go. Go away.
Everybody wanting to see us and now they see him.
Big Turbo C5. Nope. My C5 will stay supercharged. And if I decide to boost the other vet will be supercharged also. I want those to kind of be twins of each other. So both those vets will probably stay supercharged. Go-kart, man, I was telling Aaron the other day, like, bro, we need to get go-karts. Me and Aaron used to have go-karts back in the day, so I was telling this fool, like, bro, we really should get a go-kart. So I'm already like planting that seed in Aaron's head to get a go-kart. Remember my go-kart?
Yeah, it was old man's house.
Dude, my granny and my grandpa were like this when it came to me having that go-kart. My granny said no. My grandpa said, I don't care what you say. He want a go-kart, I'm getting him a go-kart. And that's probably a big part of how I ended up getting into cars, because my go-kart at first, it had a 8 horsepower Briggs Strata motor, and then it blew up, and then ended up putting a 6 horsepower Tecumseh motor on it. Go away. And then from there, I was like, all right, Aaron's motor had blew up, and then there was they were doing construction by our house, and they had this huge, I think it was like a 13 horsepower Robin motor on one of these machines. Dude, I broke into the the little place and took this motor, and I told Aaron to come help me. He came hella late, but we were like, this had to be like, we were like kids, dude. I was probably no older than like maybe 14, and I had this big ass engine. Mind you, it's a 13 horsepower motor. This thing is huge, and I'm literally like carrying it out of this construction site, which was like somebody's house that they were remodeling. So I take the motor, I'm carrying this thing away. Finally, they came and helped me to carry it. Dude, we got it. I took my other motor off my go-kart, and I put this big ass motor on the go-kart. I promise y'all, dude, when the motor was sitting on there, the go-kart would do this. It would just like lift up. The only way that car didn't hit wheelies or fall over is when somebody was sitting in there. But other than that, it was like, that shit was on 2 wheels. So I definitely would love to get another go-kart. That shit was like hella fun back in the day. Change the headlights on the coupe. Somebody said, what do you love most about me, Granny?
He's nice and sweet to his granny. And he loved his granny.
My granny's spoiled.
Yes, he spoiled.
You spoiled.
You.
You. I'm
I
a,
spoiled you. Your daddy spoiled you. And Nita just got you rotten.
that's different.
It ain't different.
Nah. I was spoiled by my granny and my aunties. Or my granny and my auntie. Supposedly I was spoiled. I don't remember being all this spoiledness that she speaks of.
You still spoiled.
I remember getting out the shower and you coming to whoop my wet butt. That's what I remember. That ain't spoiled.
Teach you a lesson. Don't lie to me.
You could have whooped me with clothes on. Dry too.
That's not. That don't work.
It did. It would have worked.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah. Man, freaking. When was that? Man. I think that was when I got caught jumping Bart. I think the last whooping I
Yes.
had was I got put on punishment for hella long. Remember
Yeah.
when I had pulled that gun on that boy?
Yeah.
Long story short, we're playing basketball, and my one of my partners, his cousin, like he wasn't from the area or whatever, so he wasn't from the hood, and we was hooping, and he kept hacking me. I'm like, bro, if you don't quit fouling me, and we ended up getting into it. And long story short is when they got back to his back to my boy house, his cousin was like, some, I'll kill you. I'm like, oh, you gonna do what? Like, you talking behind that screen door, but it's good, I got you. So I went home and got one of my grandpa old ass cowboy guns and went back over there. They called the police on my dumb young ass. That was probably what was I, 7th grade?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like the 7th grade when that had happened. But you feel me, he didn't want them hands though. So you know how it be, people talking behind the screen though when you're younger. Somebody said, how did I get the name Mike Mike?
Because your uncle was named Michael.
So I'm actually named after my grandmother's her brother. Her brother's name is or his name was Michael, and we had the exact same birthdays. So go ahead, you can tell him. My name wasn't even supposed to be Michael, but you go ahead and tell him what happened.
I don't know. Your mama was gonna name you Shardell, and he went in there and changed the paper. No, his name is Michael Lewis Malone.
Yeah, so my uncle basically went in there and changed my name on the birth certificate at the hospital and changed my name into his name because we got the same B-Day. So
Because he said, you not gonna keep him. I'm gonna give him to my sister, so he gonna be our baby.
yep. So I literally, when I kid y'all not, I left the hospital.
Red dots.
I left the hospital with Granny. I didn't go home with my mama. I left the hospital with Granny. So that's why I always tell y'all, my granny is my mother. Merch. Oh yeah. So far as merch goes, I pretty much have the samples and everything done for the merch. I could start mass producing it. I'm not gonna say too much about the merch, but my whole brand is basically, you know what? I'm not even gonna get into that. Just know that the merch is done. So I can't give y'all too much info on that because I haven't released it yet, but merch is done. I could have dropped it. I was planning on dropping it for my birthday, but I'm gonna wait to probably at the end of April because I'm about to do one last 2JZ giveaway, and then after that I'm gonna be dropping the merch for y'all. So 2J motors are hella expensive. I've been doing like 1J giveaways and stuff on IG. I don't really post them on YouTube. I usually just keep it between my IG stuff, but I know people want to get their hands on a 2J. 2Js right now are going for like $8,000. So I'm just going to bite the bullet to do a 2J giveaway. And then after that, once I do that 2J giveaway, that's when I'm going to probably drop the merch and stuff. But there's a whole little thing behind the merch that I feel, so that'll be a separate video for y'all. And I'll get into detail on why I did what I did and the branding and stuff behind it. But merch is damn near just about ready. It's like right in front of me actually, right? It's right over there, ain't it?
Yeah, the t-shirts.
Yeah, t-shirts, all that. It's right over there. Get a truck. I am gonna get a truck. I need a truck. I need a truck and a trailer. Thoughts on the Mustang GT? They cool. SA95 New Edges are my favorite Mustangs. Other than that, when they started doing the retro look, I didn't really get into too much of that. But yeah, the SNs and the older Foxes are kind of like the ones I like. That cat. No, he just right here chilling. Come on. My big ass cat. Let's see. God. Granny, IHOP or Denny's?
Denny's.
She said Denny's over IHOP. What's poppin'? What's up with you, bruh? Some Granny merch. I can't give y'all everything. Just know that the merch, I did base the merch and naming it and everything after my grandmother. So the thing with my merch when I do it is damn near, I want to say probably 50% of whatever the merch does, as far as proceeds, will be going towards me fixing up her house and stuff more. So that's along the lines, and my whole brand is going to be based off my grandmother. Just because my granny's done so much for me that I decided to make my my actual brand after her. So, but yeah, I don't want to get into too much details about the merch, but it is pretty much done, and I got the design done. I got the samples. Where you going?
Gotta go pee.
You going to go poop?
Pee.
Come on. I'm gonna push you. Ready, set, go. Move, nah. Hey, get out the way.
You're gonna knock me back down. Move.
Get away. Look at Granny trying to run. Look at her running. Run, Granny. Here, release. Where can I get that C6 diffuser? If you want the C6 diffuser, you have to hit up Corvette Creations. Corvette Creations is the person I got my wide body from for the C5, the C6, and most of the time that's where I buy my aero and stuff from for the Corvettes. Where Granny getting the build? Granny ain't trying to get no build. I damn near don't even want Granny driving no more. 2JZ a truck. I feel like I need the 2J something else. I got one JZ powered car, and I'm slowly getting a whole bunch of LS cars. So I'm really thinking if something was to go wrong with the SR, then I'll probably do a 1J or something in the 300CX. But we'll see. I'm also playing with the idea of when this Fox body blows up, I might put a 2JZ in that thing too, because I know the formula on how to, get a high power 2J for like best bang of buck type of ordeal. But I don't know if you guys ever seen, if you type in Fox body 2JZ or whatever, you guys will see a black Fox body. This was years ago. That's actually my tuner's car. My tuner built that car way back in the day, probably like 11 years ago or so. And that car was like 900 some horsepower, super nasty 2JZ Fox body. I think he was like the first person to do that swap. But yeah, my tuner, Lawrence, is like, he is a monster, bruh. Lawrence is super, super dope at everything he does. No more bike. Nah, not at the moment. My turbo died today. Damn, bruh. Sorry to hear that. Who made you a custom front bumper? That bumper, I ended up making that bumper. It's not really necessarily custom. There's a JDM company that sells the inserts that you need for it. You just gotta cut it and modify it, and then I just added the lib to it. But for that setup, I was supposed to be doing something with KBD, but then the Corona happened to where I was making a bumper. You guys seen that I was doing a 3D renders and stuff like that to make my own custom front bumper with KBD. That's still in the making, but we just had to wait for this Corona stuff to end. So I am going to be offering a fully custom 350Z bumper, because if you go on the KBD website, you guys will see that there's a kit called the Mike Starter Kit that KBD has on their website, which is the current kit that's on my 350Z. So it's like the 370Z style rear bumper. the side skirts, and they didn't have a front bumper, so I made my own little design front bumper to go with that. And pretty much we could take the bumper that's on my car, scan it, and then they can make a 3D version of it. But there's still some changes and stuff that I want to do. That way, it's like a actual, mic piece. But we're KBD's been one of my sponsors for years now. They were actually like my first sponsor. They were the first people to be like, you know what? Here, we want to send you this. You try this and let us know. Get away. So since then, me and KBD's built like a super close relationship.
How you want to knock me down?
And they're giving me full control over what I want to do with that bumper. So big shout out to them for allowing me to do that, and then they're gonna mass produce it. Nah, I got Nas when he was about seven months old, so I didn't get him when he was a pup. But when we first got him, he still had like, there was like little bad habits and stuff that he needed to have broken. But for the most part, Nas is like hella good dog. You guys see that he does like he's well trained. He listens for the most part. He's just like a super energetic puppy, dude. They always had him like tied up and stuff. So
granny.
When we got him, he was just like so happy to be loose. To where now he's just like energy, which is cool because he's he's hella friendly, hella playful, and he's a smart dog. Like I be having that fool jump. This fool is like hella athletic. This fool be jumping over the picnic tables when I take him to the dog park. So look, he over there playing fetch with Granny.
Where the monkey at? Go get the toy. Go get the
Durango
toy.
Hellcat, bruh. The Durango Hellcat I think is dope. And you guys know
Go get
Manip,
the toy.
my boy that has the red GT500. He actually
Go get
has
the toy.
2 allocations for those. So Manip might be the only
get
person in
the
the world
toy.
that has 2 Durango Hellcats. I think they're only making like 1,000 or something like that on them. And this fool has 2 allocations. This fool's gonna literally be out here with 2 Durango Hellcats. So I think the goal wants to make content on one of them, and then the other one he's just gonna sit on and possibly sell for triple the markup, because that car is definitely gonna be probably double of what whatever he paid for it. So yeah, my boy Manip
You don't
about to
want
be
to play?
2 Durango Hellcats, 2 JZ to C5 or C6. Hell no. Twinkie ain't doing nothing. Twinkie will not touch my car. Twinkie lucky when I went to a shop he wasn't there, because that nigga was gonna get beat up. You getting the Hellcat? I am not getting the Hellcat. Twinkie messed up freaking White Aaron's car. But that was on White Aaron though. I told him not to go there. That's what happened when you go behind people's back. If you watching this, White Aaron, your fault your shit look like a tiger stripe right now. But I still love you though. We're gonna have Works Customs, you feel me? Wax on, wax off my boy White Aaron car and get that thing looking good. Y'all seen White Aaron's engine bay, bruh? Like, if you want here, y'all gotta check out White Aaron's channel. White Aaron car is hella clean. That fool is like a perfectionist when it comes to cleaning stuff. He like, I'm jealous, man. I'm telling you, he was in his engine bay with a toothpick getting that thing clean. His motor looked brand new. Next car, I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting next. Probably a C8, if all goes well. Do you miss the G35? I do not miss the G35 at all. The G35 basically paid for the entire C6 build. So when you compare G35 versus C6, hell no. The C6 is so much of a better car. Like, I've been wanting a C6 for years, dude. Years. And to finally be able to get my C6 is like, that G35 could go. So yeah, I don't miss the G35 at all. I've been wanting a C6 for hella long. And then the C6 content's been doing good, so it's like, oh, that's dope. People are fucking with the C6. Hey, get away. Go. No, go. Go. MK4, MK5. I will take MK4 if I had to pick between the two, but I wouldn't mind having both cars. Like, if money was no option, I'd buy both. But if I had to pick between the two, I'm gonna pick the MK4 just because of the history behind it. And the MK4 is gonna be a classic car. Couple more years, that car, like, it's already damn near going for 100 grand. Couple more years from now, that car will probably be mid $100,000 car, and then in 20 more years from now, it'll probably be $300,000 car.
Well, you're a big head at the
So
way.
that car isn't going to depreciate in value at all. To Jay-Z to FD, nah. If I was to do anything to the FD that wasn't rotary related, I'd probably LS it. And the reason behind doing the LS swap
Get off of my feet.
would be because it doesn't affect the balance of the rotary. If I put a 2JZ in the RX-7, it makes it front end heavy and it won't handle the same. So the FD would definitely be a car that I'd probably LS3 swap or something if I was to ever go that route. But I have no plans on swapping that car. That car more than likely is going to live its life as a rotary. I think I'd probably sell it before I swap that car. And the FD isn't going to be a high power car for me. The FD will probably be like 400, 450 horsepower at most. Just something to where, you know, it runs, it looks good. I could drive it around. And, you know, it's FD. It doesn't need hella power. Those cars are hella light. So I learned my lesson. The more power you make, the more problems you have. And anybody that knows FDs know that those rear ends at like 450, 500 range, though, you start breaking transmissions, breaking rear ends, and I don't want those problems. Freaking FD parts are taxed. So if I break an FD rear end, now I'm doing freaking a Ford 9, I'm looking for a CDO 9 trans, and it becomes a full build. So FD, like, I'd be happy if that car made 400 horsepower to keep it 100. I just want to be able to drive it, because most FD owners, what are they doing? Like, their car's in the garage chilling. It only comes out for like shows or something. So nah, I want to be able to start my shit up and people can see it driving on the freeway. Tell Granny I said hi. Granny,
Hello.
forebear to swap or forebear to Fox body? No, that car stand V8. Not putting a 4-banger in there. Best dual exhaust for the 350? I don't know. I really don't. I really like the way HKS sounds on the 350s. Granny trying to sleep. Somebody said you're trying to sleep, Granny.
If I want to sleep, I sleep. I'm old enough to wake up and go to sleep when I want to.
You tell him, Granny. You tell him. Say it again. Say it again. Tell him.
If I'm sleepy, I'll go to sleep and wake up when I get ready. I ain't on no time clock. You see, I'm sitting around here in my house, in my road.
Well, technically, it's my house.
I don't care who house it is. I'm sitting around in my road.
It's my house. I pay the bills and the mortgage around here. You ready to move in or what? They asking. Let's say,
Whatever's yours is mine.
they asking, when Granny moving in? When you moving in, Granny?
I'm in here now.
She ain't here now. She was supposed to go home on Friday, but or
I
Sunday.
didn't come here Friday.
She came here Friday. She was supposed to go home Sunday, but I'm kidnapping her, so told her she'll go home in like a week or so.
I want to go home for Mary Lee so I can see her and the baby.
Coyote swap the Fox body? No. Coyotes, I'm not a fan of those motors. For the cost of how much that swap is not a cheap swap. So if I'm about to be spending $8,000 on a Coyote motor, it's like, why would I do that when I could spend $4,000 on a LS3 and make more power? And then you even seeing Coyotes, or you know, the whole swap, like somebody selling one with the mount stuff. I think he wanted like $14,000. I'm like, bruh, $14,000 for a Coyote? I'm like, nah. Rather buy an LS7 at that point and make freaking 600 horsepower all motor. Best bang for buck out of any motor is the LS3. I'm sorry, like, I am proof of this. I am proof of it. I have 3 LS powered cars, and before I was all Jay-Z, 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 Jay-Z. When it comes to making big power, yes, a Jay-Z is still the powerhouse out of all my cars. I love the Jay-Z. I love the way it sounds. I love everything about it. It's just a raw motor. But when it comes to reliability, being able to jump in and go like 500 horsepower freaking on 91 California pump gas, like, it's just, you know, it's different. There's no turbos to worry about. There's no exhaust leak or no exhaust manifold leaks. And you got to worry about no boost leaks or none of that. Like, I drove my 350Z to Tahoe. Their back freaking, the coolant had leaked out. It was getting hella hot going up the hill. put new coolant in there, drove it back, car still runs fine. Like it just works. I don't know any other motor that will get 500 horsepower with just a cam swap that you can just beat on. Like you guys seen all the ride-alongs I've done in the 350Z. Like I be dogging that car, sitting on the limiter, just dogging it. That car was my daily. I was beating that car, and it hasn't flinched. It hasn't given me one problem. Even the C6, I be dogging this thing, freaking mobbing it, still not one issue. I haven't even changed the oil in the C6 since I got it. Like that's how much I just be like, I'm driving, I don't care. So I love the fact that you can do that with LSs. The only problem that I had was with my LS1, and it's a LS1. It's the same stigma behind it. It's like LS1 blocks suck, they crack. Same thing that happens to the 4 5.0 motors. It's just, it is what it is. So yeah, if I end up blowing up this 402 that I'm building for the C5, I'm definitely gonna be doing the LS3, the next setup in it. But LS is just, they just work. Like I know people that are making 750 horsepower on supercharged LS3s, and they've been running for like 5 years. Like LS3s and JZs are like the two most solid motors you can buy bang for buck. Do a LS7. I personally rather have a LS3 over a LS7. And my reasons behind that is because the LS7s do good all motor, but I wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable with boosting the LS7. So if you really think about it, if that's the case, when Chevy made the ZR1, why didn't they put the LS7 in there? Why did they use the LS3 motor or LS3 block? So like that should tell you something. So the LS7 all motor, cool, but when it comes to possibly throwing boost at a motor, I definitely prefer to have LS3. Like I could have went and bought a Z06, but after looking at them, like, all right, this car is damn near, let's say 40 grand. Now you have, like, as soon as you get it, you have to do the head stuff. If not, you end up dropping valves like Kicks did. And, you know, the head stuff's 10 grand. So now I'm, let's say 45, 50 grand into this car, and it makes 550 horsepower all motor. Whereas you can get an LS3 for 5 grand. I mean, a LS3 C6 for anywhere from 15 to 30, depending on if you want a Grand Sport or if you just want a base or whatever you decide. But it's a lot cheaper to get the LS3 base than, like I did the whole wide body kit to it. And if I want to, I could throw a supercharger at that car and make a lot more than Z06 power. So reason why I got the LS3 set up is purposely because I'm planning on supercharging that car. So yeah, you know, you got to think long term. It's like you get a LS7, what happens when it blows up? 12 grand right there for a new motor. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. LS7s are hella expensive. You can go find a stolen LS3 all day long for like 3 grand. So, you know, if you end up seeing them on a Facebook market or whatever for 3 grand, be like, oh, there goes the LS3 right there. I'm gonna go cop that thing. Bam. You ain't gonna find no LS7s for 3 grand, 3,500 or none of that. So keep that in mind. Like I purposely didn't want an LS7. I love everything about the Z06 and the chassis being lighter, but I just didn't want an LS7. What's the best drift car? Anything can be built for drifting, bruh. I love the way my Corvette slides. I love the way my OZ slid. The SC, like, slides pretty good, but it definitely needs more angle. But anything is capable of sliding. Like, I've slid all my cars, and I couldn't say, like, oh, I like this car better than the other car. It really just depends on what you like. At the end of the day, if you get a car that has a 100-inch wheelbase, or even like 97 to 105, more than likely they're gonna feel the same based on wheelbase, just minor differences. So whatever car you get and you decide to drift, you just get familiar with that car. It's like you're learning as you're going, so that car is just gonna become familiar to you. But the biggest thing about drifting is just getting as much seat time as you can. Like I tell everybody, if you're gonna start drifting, just practice doing donuts, and then go wide donuts, and then from there start doing figure eights, and then go wide. You should be able to go first gear, start your donut, then go to second gear, start it, and then if you have the power and the space to do it, try third gear. Drifting ain't nothing but just a balancing act, and then figuring out where transitions and stuff, where to catch it at. Hey, Granny. Best model Blue Edge, plan for drifting street car. I'd prefer New Edge over SN95 if you're building a drift car. The New Edge already has the newer style spindle, so out the box, the New Edge does have more angle than the SN95. Why don't you drive the RX-7 no more? I do drive it. I just haven't been vlogging anything about it because I ain't really done nothing to it. I'm still waiting for the, for us to do the street port motor and everything in there. But I have been driving the FD. I don't want to just make a video like, all right, I'm driving the FD, guys. What else? Thoughts on MK3 Super as a drift car? MK3s don't have much angle, and I don't think they have a lot of aftermarket support either. So that's something to consider when getting that chassis. MK4 and the SCs have a bit more, but I think the only option really is Figs and Wisefab, and Figs and Wisefab are... ET on the Fox body build, I have no clue. I'm actually I got hella parts sitting right over here in the living room that I need to get to the shop sometime this week so we can get started on that. Let me get that refrigerator. Man, my refrigerator be slapping. VQ swap the Mustang. I'm never doing another VQ. Never, ever. Y'all won't see me with another VQ. I'm over that. Update on the SE. SE video gonna be dropping probably tomorrow or so. Tomorrow or the following day, one of those. Where was that comment? Somebody said something about gears. I don't know where the comment went. Let's see if he put it back up there. I want to answer that question. 2000 Corvette, that's a LS1. I mean, they're cool. Just know the LSs, the LS1s are the weaker LS setups. But for for a street car, then it's fine. Yeah, I see that. Go Mopar. No, I'm not going Mopar. Shelby GT500. Yep. When your first fight gonna happen? I don't know, man. We still training and just prepping. I actually was sparring with another dude today at the gym, but we still working. We are still working. I haven't been vlogging much about the Muay Thai, but we have been training it and getting it in. So that I still plan on fighting. I want to do it for just the for the experience and shit, and I feel like it's just fun and it's a good workout. COVID messed your boy up, had me out here fluffy. That's where you gotta go. Let's talk to Granny. Go ahead. You got a question for Granny? Man, I've been on here almost 2 hours, yo. We about to hurry up and wrap this up. Last couple questions. Last couple. We're gonna do 5 more questions and then we about it. Let's see. So make it a good one. What gears do you run? Depending on the car, SC300 runs SC400 diff with a COS 2A. So those gears are 393s. The Fox body currently has stock gears, but if I turbo them, those are going to be the gears that I leave in there. No point in running 373s with a turbo setup. FD gearing is stock. 350Z gearing is I think I'm running. I don't even remember what diff. I remember swapping the diff, but I can't even remember. I'd have to look at the old video I did when I had swapped the diff at Granny house. Four questions left. Bruh. Audi V10. Drag strip content. I do plan on going back to the drag strip. I do want to take the C5 out there, see what that thing does, and I want to take the SC, just for my own personal info. Four rotors are hella expensive, bruh. Like, y'all don't understand how expensive that swap is. When I went and got my spare rotary motor and was building that, I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can find a 3-rotor as a backup motor. And the thing about it was the 4-rotor was like, or the 3-rotor, it was like, I want to say 12 grand for the motor. But the problem with that is, let's say you get a 3-rotor, it's 12 grand, and then it's blown, or the apex seal is blown, so the rotor housing gets messed up, or even the iron gets messed up. It's like trying to find another iron to replace that for a 3-rotor is like, it's wild. Then at that point, you have to do all the billet stuff, and then getting it into the car isn't cheap. So that swap could easily turn into something that's going from like, oh, this should have cost 20 grand to do, to where now it's like, damn, I'm into this thing $60,000 and it still don't start up. So I love the way 3-rotors sound, but for what I want out of my FD, just something that looks good, sounds good, and I can drive it, then, you know, for my goal, for what I want, I can do that with a 2-rotor. Like I don't need a 3-rotor for it. What was that? Somebody said, is Cali worth moving to? I think that's what he said. For the person that was asking him if Cali was worth moving to, yes and no. A lot of people that leave here are people that can't really afford to stay here. Like if you can afford to stay here, because it is major expensive in the Bay Area, then by all means, you know, it's the weather is fantastic. The scenery around here is nice. The smog shit is like, dealing with smog. But obviously, I got 7 cars, and yeah, so there's always, you know, ways to go about things. And if you can afford to be out here, then by all means, it's, you know, it's a beautiful place, and I love it out here. So that's why I could have opted to be like, all right, I'm moving to Texas like everybody else in California does, but I plan on staying. I don't plan on leaving anytime soon unless it just gets real political and messed up out here. But other than that, everything out here is dope. Like there's like, for us, like being in the Bay Area, like racism really, it ain't really a thing. Like the Mexicans get along with the blacks, and there's no Crips and there's no Bloods and stuff like that. For the most part, everybody, like if it's an issue, it's usually within turfs and stuff like that. So I love the diversity out here. But, you know, you got problems everywhere you go. But if I could stay anywhere in California, I'd stay in the Bay Area where I'm at. Like the hottest it really even gets out here in summer is like, what, probably maybe in the 90s here and there. Other than that, it's usually about 60, 67 to about 75 degrees. Like the weather year round is like always perfect. Would you do a front wheel drive build? No. If I can't swing it, I ain't gonna build it. Last question. Let's see. Trying to find one, a good one. Somebody said last question. Where is it? Woo! Last question right here. This is a good one. What's the greatest lesson Granny taught you? Man, what's the greatest lesson? I don't know. That's a hard one to answer.
Be a man.
The damn. There's not necessarily like really one lesson. It's just everything comes as one bundle of basically right and wrong. You know, the things that your elders and your parents try to teach you aren't usually necessarily lessons. They're just basic, essential things that you need to get through life properly. So with that being said, man, it's really just, it wasn't necessarily a lesson. It was just more so of what I've seen, you know, growing up. Like my granny was working at Toys R Us, so, you know, it wasn't like she was just super balling. And you know, we stayed in the projects or whatever, and it was like anytime we went grocery shopping, it was like always, my granny always considered like, oh, what do you want to eat? You know, what do you need? And then from there it was just like, you know, I didn't need anything, you know. It was, she was making do with what she had. So in my mind, I'm, you know, as a kid, you're looking at it, you're like, you don't really see those things. You're like, all right, we got food in here, and you know, she made sure that I had clothes and stuff on my back. But as I got older and looking at it, I'm like, you know, you start being like, all right, bills is this much.
And you got your games.
Yeah, I had video games, whether it had to go on layaway for her to get them, or whatever. It was like I still, I had the video games and stuff that I wanted. As long as like my grades were good and I was, being a good kid, I had, the things that I needed. So, one thing that that I learned is from being a kid and seeing like kind of like the sacrifices she made to make sure that I had the things that I needed were probably like, one of the biggest things, because when you're a kid, you don't see the behind the scenes. You don't know like, oh, bills are this much, my granny making this much, my clothes cost this much, my food costs this much. But, it was more like how much did she save for herself? I felt like looking back on it, was like everything revolved around making sure that I was good. And then when my grandfather passed, and it was a whole big ordeal with that. She helped me with like great money management, man. Like she was telling me she was putting my money in CDs and IRA accounts. That way I couldn't touch them. And then every year for school, we would go pull the interest out. And that's how I would buy my school clothes. It was like, all right, your accounts made, let's say, $400 of interest this year or whatever. Like, here you go. Take that money out. That's what you spend on your school clothes. The rest of this money we put back into an account. And we did that up until until I was 18. And she kind of showed me how to manage money. And overall, was just the biggest lesson was just love, man. Like she made sure my phone bill was paid. Friggin' when I was staying with my other auntie, she was giving me lunch money every week.